ladies and gentlemen. This is Joshua Stewart, and this is my Arduino circuitry that I created for the AutoBed. I am going to quickly roll through or scroll through my coding first before I explain my circuitry itself and then how the things function. So, scroll through the code here. That's all of my code there. So on the circuitry itself, there's a total of 5 servos. So we have one for the head, the left side, the right side, the knees, and the foot of the bed. And then it also includes 2 ultrasonic distance sensors. So we have the first distance sensor here, which is located at the head of the bed on the frame, and then the second one here located at the foot of the bed on the frame. And then we have 2 force pressure sensors. Again, one's at the head of the bed, the other one's at the foot of the bed. And then we have our IR sensor here for our remote control. So that way we can control the AutoBed itself and its adjustments. So now I'm going to take the time to start the simulation so that way you can see the servos perform their functions based on the buttons that control them. And then also we'll show you that if the distance sensors are not within the parameters or the force pressure sensors are not within their parameters, they will not allow adjustments of the AutoBed also. So without further ado, I'm going to start the simulation. And you'll see down there on the serial monitor what its distance readings are currently right now, what its force pressure sensors readings are also, and then when I press a button. So I'm going to push button 1 on the remote, which controls the head actuator. And we will start to see this actuator move as if it's going up, so pushing the head of the bed upwards. Now, if I push button 4 for the head actuator, or servo, my bad, this servo will actually start going back to its original position, which is 0, which would be bringing the bed down. So then I'm going to move on to button 2, which controls the knees, which is the center one here, right next to the breadboard. Same thing. If I push button 2, it's telling the servo to go up. If I push button 5, it's telling the servo to go down. And so then I'm going to move on to button 3, which controls for the feet. Push button 3, it's telling the servo to go up. If I push button 6, it's telling the servo to go down. Now, if I move over to button 7, which controls the left servo, it is telling that servo to go in. I know on the coding it says up and down. However, based on the position of where this servo would be, we would actually be pulling it in. And then button 8, which would be pulling it out. So the left and right side servos are there to help assist flipping a patient on their side. So they do a little bit different function than the other 3 servos. Now, if I push button 9, which controls the right one, you can see that that one starts to move inwards or outwards, depending on how you look at it. But its function is to be moving it, pulling it inwards. And then if I push button 0, that will be pulling it back out. Now I'm going to quickly change the distance reading on distance sensor 1 to less than 10 inches. Hold on a second here. All right, less than 10 inches, which should not allow me to make any adjustments whatsoever. So now I'm pushing button 1, and as you can see, the head servo is not doing anything. Same thing if I push 4. Go back to this distance sensor. I will set it back to a distance greater than 10 inches. And you can see that now it starts allowing adjustments. That is my working circuitry for the AutoBed. Thank you. Have a good day.